Hi and welcome. It's Milan with tuningintothe1.com for another wonderful video blog. And today's topic, relationship fitness. This is for anyone and everyone who's currently in a relationship or looking to get into a relationship. What comes to mind is we oftentimes don't appreciate just how much fitness is involved in being ready for a relationship. Sometimes it's being physically fit. Sometimes it's being emotionally fit. Sometimes it's being financially fit. And sometimes we have to blend them together. So remember, in life, as in relationships, from the womb to the tomb, it's all about relationships. Because whether it's the relationship you have with yourself, the relationship you have with the surrounding environment, with what you're doing work-wise, professionally, with your own emotional maturity or level of emotional intelligence, as well as physically, how fit are you? How fit are you financially? These are all important questions. So when you take the relationship fitness quiz or the relationship fitness challenge, you want to go through these one by one and ask yourself. So the first one would be physical fitness. And what we're looking for here is a combination of chemistry, compatibility, and a level and a sense of fitness. You're going to rate or rank all of these on a scale of 1 to 10. So physically, when you're looking at someone, like your physical attraction and chemistry to a particular person, how physically attracted to them are you with their clothes on and with their clothes off? If you're not in a relationship, you can actually do this with yourself and have some level of contentment of knowing whether you find yourself physically fit. Do you like what you see in the mirror in the morning with your clothes off and with your clothes on? How compelling is that image in front of you? How close is the character of your content to the visible outer perspective that people see? And when you move through that with somebody else, you want to have that same level of understanding. How much am I attracted to physically? How fit is the other person in terms of how I'm drawn to them in terms of attraction and in terms of chemistry, with their clothes on and with their clothes off? So that's the first piece. The second piece is aesthetic. So this is kind of related to the first piece as much as when you're looking at yourself aesthetically. For instance, when you're looking at a sculpture like the David in Florence, Michelangelo's David, you can see the aesthetics that a beautiful sculptor, an artist, put to work to create an image. When you see the image of yourself, if you're currently single, or together, how is that aesthetic playing out? In other words, how do you guys look together when you're present? How do you look together in terms of yourselves taking a picture of each other? How well can you look at that aesthetic and say, that is pleasing to me? Because what you're really doing is running it through your own filters on how you see the world, how you see yourself, and how you see your partner. And rank that on a scale of 1 to 10. So with clothes on, 1 to 10. With clothes off, 1 to 10. The aesthetic, the pleasing aesthetic, like if you were looking at it as an object of art, like Michelangelo's David in Florence, Italy, or any other sculpture that speaks to you, or painting. You're looking for that aesthetic, that pleasing sense of self that is not just fit, but pleasant and agreeable and beautiful to look at. Do you see yourself as beautiful? Do you see yourself as just kind of Or do you see something that's not beautiful and more on the ugly side? That'll give you some idea of how fit your aesthetic is about yourself, about your partner, about your partnership. Then looking at mental fitness. What you're looking for in mental fitness specifically is a piece that reflects the idea that you have mental compatibility, okay? And when you look at mental compatibility, what does that really mean? Well, what we're really speaking to is a sense of conversational compatibility. Can you read each other's thoughts? Can you finish each other's sentences? So when you're looking at the mental aesthetic or the mind aesthetic, it's about thoughts. Are you able to have agreeable, complementary, compatible conversations? Do you have things in common when you discuss things? Do you use similar languaging? Or is it something that doesn't feel quite so aligned, or tuned in. In that case, again, rank yourself. Rank yourself in terms of the conversations you have on a scale of 1 to 10. How qualitative are those conversations? Then ask yourself, how often are you able to, read each other's thoughts or finish each other's sentences? Because that'll tell you how intuitively dialed in you are to each other mentally. So that's number 3. Number 4 is professional compatibility and status. So how do your professions complement or rate with each other? So for instance, you could have a professional woman who's a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse. You could have a working woman who is more of a maybe retail person, or works in a grocery store, a supermarket, happens to work in some type of retail environment. So blue collar, white collar kind of professional status. How fit are the two of you together financially, as well as in terms of the values that you hold for each other? Because sometimes if someone isn't, shall we say, holding up their own end, we tend to build resentments or certainly have issues around it. So you may say, oh, it's not important how much the other person makes. It very well may have a piece in terms of you having respect for yourself and respect for the other person. That's number 4. Rated 1 to 10. Professionally compatible, professionally aligned, willing to work with each other. So it's different. If you have one person who's a professional, maybe the other person's a professional, then you're on the same level. One person's a professional, the other person is an artist. A little bit different, apples and oranges. Then one person is out there being the breadwinner, the other person is a stay-at-home parent. Totally different scenario. What are the things you're looking for? And remember, go back to your soulmate attraction blueprint and your soulmate manifesto. If any of these relationship fitness pieces ring true, then you can add back in to that piece that you have already. Then we have moral and ethical compatibility. This has to do with not only your values, but your beliefs. So the moral and the ethical has to do with, are you comfortable with each other? Are you compatible with each other when it comes to morality and ethical behavior, values, and beliefs? Very important. Rate it 1 to 10. That's number 5. Number 6 kind of piggybacks off of that. The religious, the ethnic, and the social, cultural compatibility you have for each other. So racial, ethnic, social, cultural. How diverse is the pool? Are you both Italian and Lebanese, Indian and Chinese, American, Indian, or these days indigenous, and African American? Are you coming from different social, cultural, ethnic, or religious backgrounds? These will have an impact. Rate yourself on fitness. How well do those pieces fit together with each other? Are they complementary? Are they at odds? It can be something as simple as 2 different versions of Christianity, and whether you're going to baptize the child, if there is one. It can come up with some tension. So rate it on fitness. That's number 6. Number 7, social compatibility and status. Well, if you're in India or you're in the UK, a lot of times people can tell by looking at the person or by the language and how it's spoken with their accent on the social class. This is a little bit different than professional status, but it relates right there, which is from the standpoint of social status. How do you see each other? And how does that fitness level agree or disagree with you? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 totally agree, we're good to go. 1 totally disagree, we're not very compatible there. Important piece. Number 8, emotional health and maturity. The emotional health and maturity has to do with how much you've grown to be able to keep things at a peaceful and a rational level. It's one thing to get passionate and really have a sense of, oh my God, this is important to me. And it's another thing if it descends down the rabbit hole into a place and a space that is very emotionally immature. So what is the emotional character, the emotional maturity, and the emotional intelligence with which you approach things. Sometimes we carry things from childhood, passive-aggressive behaviors, certain other type of issues of going hot, cold, or push-pull, and all these things play into the emotional fitness of yourself, your partner, the relationship, or if you're single, just be rigorously honest. Rate yourself on emotional balance, on emotional maturity, and that emotional sense of health, 1 to 10. Number 9, material and financial compatibility. Material and financial compatibility. This may or may not parallel what you wrote above about professional compatibility or professional fitness, because it has to do with a sense of, are you in a home that you're happy with? Are you living a lifestyle that you want to? Sometimes when we don't have that physical or material health and sustenance from the standpoint of material and financial fitness, it definitely rings true on a lack of compatibility. How fit are you materially to provide for yourself as well as to provide for your partner? And how fit are they to provide for themselves and to provide for you or the family unit? Is it a 50-50 equality, equanimity piece, or is it agreed that one person is the breadwinner, or some 70-30, 80-20, 75-25 split? Figure out where your ideal material and financial fitness is and whether you're compatible there on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 off the charts compatible, 1 not very compatible. And finally, spiritual soulmate fitness. How much are your souls blended together in compatibility? And how much chemistry do you feel like you've not only met your soulmate, but you can feel it spiritually? You have that spiritual and soulmate fitness that rings true. How much? Scale 1 to 10. 10, we are spiritually 100% compatible, and we are absolutely and positively the right fit for each other, because your relationship fitness will tell you how much of a fit you truly are. So take this little relationship fitness challenge and see how you do. And as always, if you want to join us in our private Facebook group for questions and answers, especially to those burning questions, please click on the link either on this video or right below it. And this is Milan signing off again, wishing you amazing dating success and relationship mastery, because at the end of the day, from the womb to the tomb, it's all about relationships. Bye for now.